let's go on to the next match because I think we're good with this one.
Shimana Haya, Shimana Honda.
This one is very interesting. The IC title is on the line.
Let's go.
Really?
I feel like you've been totally opposed to that up until now.
I didn't even say that was my prediction. I just sang the man's fucking theme song. And y'all just took that as my prediction.
I did. I definitely took it as your pick.
Right. I didn't say shit.
Way to assume, guys.
Right. Way to make an ass out of you and me.
2025. There you go. Okay. Yeah, Sami Gunther. How do we see this going?
Gunther. It is easily Gunther for me. That man continues that reign. I'm a huge fan of Gunther. I can't bet against that man. It's like when Bianca Belair was kind of on her roll for a year, and there were a few times when I bet against Bianca Belair and I was completely wrong. I'm not doing that this time. I'm not.
Yeah, how'd that work versus Becky at the last Wrestlemania too? How'd that work out?
It's definitely Gunther retaining that title at WrestleMania. If he doesn't, I'm gonna be shocked. Honestly, if Sami wins, I'm gonna be shocked.
I'm going Sami. Sorry, I'll take the shot.
Canadian.
I told you I have to redeem myself after not taking KO last one. I think Sami wins this because and Nick and I talked about this recently, and I disagreed with Nick, and Nick ended up being right as far as how they played it. Because I would have had Sami beat Bronson. Nick went against that and was right. So they've buried Sami. So the underdog from the underground with a pop-up. But I've said for a long time, Gunther challenging whoever the World Heavyweight Championship, whoever's holding that championship going into Germany, that is the matchup. That's the main event, is Gunther versus the champion when we get to, we go overseas.
Yeah, you get Gunther versus Roman, and you're going to do it. You're going to do it in Berlin. Yeah, it's amazing. It's fantastic.
Right?
Yeah, you're 100%. Gunther at this point has reached. There's nothing left that he can accomplish with that belt anymore, undeniably. And now you have nothing but a way that you can have somebody that can be involved, whether it's Gable versus Sami, anything like that. You have layers that you can open, avenues you can open, versus Gunther was a roadblock. And now you have him going towards the world title. If it's Gunther versus Drew SummerSlam, maybe, perhaps.
I've always had it to where Gunther doesn't lose the IC title, he relinquishes it. I've been that gung-ho dude with that theory for about a year now. He wins whatever world title he wins, and then he relinquishes the IC title. I'm gonna stick behind that. Until I'm proven wrong. I could be proven wrong in 6 days, but
6 days.
I'm still behind that.
That's juicy because, Gunther really could be that champion that said, all right, well, I'm good with this. I've done enough. Here's my belt. I'm going to go after another one.
No one can beat me for this. So I vacated because no one can beat me.
Yeah, very possible. Someone, Sir Keyshawn saying Gunther holds the belt till Ilya shows up.
Ooh.
Well, no, KJ, you've sat there and said they become fucking people. Let me tell you about my best friend.
What I like about the idea of Sami winning is it does really open up the IC division. Like, as far as the door goes, you got Bronson Reed has a win over Sami. Chad Gable could go heel on Sami. You have Ricochet in the mix now, where none of them feel like they could beat Gunther. They all feel like they could possibly beat Sami. It makes it more competitive, I think.
Yeah.
You drop that level instead of, I am the Gunther. I am going to just chop you in the chest until you give out here. If he taps, he taps type of
if
shit.
If he bleeds, he bleeds.
Yeah, if he dies, he dies.
KJ is going through the chat right now, and it's not a lot of people taking Sami. I think I might have seen 2.
It's heavy. It's heavy Gunther. I think we got maybe 4. Gable Sammy feud comes out of this. Yeah, I mean, could Gable cost Sammy the title? Ooh, I don't like it.
I'd rather see Sammy versus Gable for the title than Gable cost Sammy the title. It's like it's one of those of like, well, you can't beat him, so I'm gonna make sure you can't fucking beat him. Like, wait, what?
Right. Shut up, Boston. It's close.
Austria, yeah. It's amazing. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Even if it's in France, if it's Backlash, I think he's so big in that European market that it would make sense that
I'm still telling you right now, spoiler alert, and it's not a spoiler, it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler alert. I said it backwards.
Gotcha.
You get Roman Reigns versus Gunther in Berlin for the world title.
Ooh. That's assuming that he still has the belt, but we'll get there.
Again, it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler.
Right. Brandon saying, does he surpass 1,000 days as IC champ? Just keep the fucking belt forever?
Has he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's managed to not only pass the honky tonk, he's also managed to pass the collective of like the most that anyone as an IC champ has ever held the title consecutively or compared together.
Yeah. According to the WWE website, when he gets to WrestleMania, he'll be at 664 days as champ. So
my fear is everything they've done to build up the IC title will start losing a little luster if you don't have competitive matches. And as much as I love Gunther and he has great matches, we're running out of people that we believe are going to beat him. Unless you're bringing back Strowman to take him on, like, what are we going to do?
No, that's true.
Yeah,
I didn't think about it that way.
But I don't know. He could keep being champion. Gunther versus Drew in Germany. There you go. Matt
Cardona have the competitive matches with Sami versus Gable. Excuse me, with Gable versus that person, with so and so versus that person, with a Sami versus a Bronson Reed. Are those still all as competitive if it wasn't Gunther attached to it?
They definitely feel more up in the air for sure. I would think. Yeah. A lot of people saying Dragunov's coming for him. Sami not winning. Yeah, Gunther, rest in peace, Sami. That's why I think that makes this Sami win so good. Is everyone's like, oh, Sami's dead.
Sami's not winning.
Now, how do we feel that Sami saw the comments allegedly running, according to Booker T, who's an incredible source, about how people were upset about him winning and the response to that, etc., to where Sami was expecting more of, happy that he had won, the spot to challenge Gunther, when it turned out it was more of boo.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like, is it just that Sami wanted more people cheering for him and less people, he thought his win would be over and he was a little bummed out that it wasn't? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm convinced that the IWC doesn't watch Raw and SmackDown sometimes because I think it was clear that it was going to be Sami winning. Even with the promos he was doing in the stands, it was clear that he was trying to get to a championship at WrestleMania. So sometimes I'm convinced that the IWC is literally watching Dynamite when Raw is on. Because clearly it's always been Sami.
Yeah,
it was never Gable. It was never Gable for you.
No,
I thought the Gable thing was over after their last match, like in what was it, October?
You know what was funny, Anthony? They ran they did the vignette for Gable, and everyone was like, they did a vignette for Gable. He's got to win. They did a vignette for everybody in the gauntlet match.
Right. His shoulders was up. His shoulders was up.
His shoulders were up. Well, maybe that will play into the storyline post Mania. Yeah, no, I agree with Anthony. I thought it was Sami the whole way. It made sense. They were building it. Yeah, I mean, again, another match where you can flip a coin. This could go either way. Most people think Gunther. I'm sticking Sami all the way on this one.
I'm Sami.
All right. And
I definitely got Gunther. So
all right.